I'm not saying like try something different every day and change up your strategy because something didn't work for 24 hours. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying do something. And I think a lot of us know the next action step that we need to take, but we're afraid and we think that more information is going to make us braver. And honestly, more information usually makes it harder because then there's more noise.
What's up, and welcome back to the Scale Your Sales podcast. I am your host and your soon-to-be podcast BFF, Jillian Murphy. If you are absolutely exhausted of hearing the same podcast that only leaves you feeling motivated and just a bunch of fluff, well, you have absolutely landed on the right podcast today. In this episode, we are going to talk about the most important skill you need to generate your business, and that is sales. We are going to dive into topics such as messaging, marketing, how to build lead generation organically, and we are going to talk about how to create consistent cash months inside of your business. And we are also going to talk about how to build a company that isn't just about making money, but is also bringing in actual wealth, while getting back to what I know is your most important thing, time freedom. Now, I am here for real talk, real advice, straightforward tip, and no BS. You can always walk away and implement everything that we talk about in our show and move it into your business immediately. But I have to tell you, I am not your typical business mentor. We are going to talk about things that nobody else is probably talking about on the internet. We are going to talk about what it takes to build a real company and not just about how to manifest your business or how you can make $1 million tomorrow. But if that's what you're looking for, this podcast is absolutely not for you. We are going to talk about the real skills to build a real business. Now, I have spent over 25 years in the corporate sales space, generating over $100 million in sales through multiple industries in the online and the brick and mortar space. I have been able to help over 500 entrepreneurs not only grow their sales, but scale their businesses. Several times per week, I'm going to bring you solo episodes, guest episodes, and even hot seat coaching so that you are able to scale your sales. Now, grab a pen and paper, your beverage of choice, and let's freaking go. All right, you guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes to date because I have one of my real life besties here and it's about to get fucking wild.
Ooh, the pressure.
Bree, welcome to the show. Tell my audience who you are and what you do.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Well,
Yes.
first, I'll tell you a little bit about me, but I just have to say, our friendship is proof to me, like one of a lot of things that we're super stylish, super cool. When you find someone that matches your vibe, you're just like, love it.
Like when you came in today with the boots and we were just like dancing in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
For
This
sure.
is a joy that you need in your life. But I have to tell you, on like actually kind of a little bit more of a serious note, I'd been like looking and searching and praying for you.
Same, literally same. Girl.
And our friendship to me is proof that what you're seeking is seeking you too.
Yes.
Like we've been in each other's world for I don't know how long, a long time.
Couple
We have
years.
so many mutual friends, and it would make sense that we would connect. But my husband and I'll tell about our business in a little bit, but we were filming Chris Harder's Elite Mastermind that you're in. You're like an OG in that room.
Yeah.
And just connected with you, talked with you, and I'm like, girl, I need to have a girlfriend that I can get together with and just have fun.
Yes.
Like we were talking about that. And
we were like, can we just eat Chinese food and like come over and watch Love is Blind? And you were like, yes.
Yes, which is still we need to do that. We were literally talking about pajamas. Like we can get dressed up is this going to be on YouTube or whatever? If you see these videos, like we've got the matching boots.
Yeah, we are a vibe right now, guys. We are a total fucking vibe.
But also most of the time it's pajamas. But anyways, I'll give you the short and sweet of who I am, my business, and I mean we can take it, wherever from there. But I'm the co-founder of The Good in Media, a podcast agency that I run with my husband, Danny. And really the story why we fell in love with podcasting in particular was back in 2016 was I talk about our rock bottom year. It's one of those things where you like hit rock bottom, you kind of just like skid for a while. And basically what had happened at that time is he's always, as long as he can remember, struggled with depression, his mental health, those types of things. Runs in his family, and obviously there's a lot of different factors there. Most of them I feel like we can help ourselves and you know what I mean, get that under control, but we just didn't know really anything at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the breadwinner at the time. He was in a sales job, 100% commission.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just getting no after no and being depressed. He like got into to a point where he was suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost everything except for the things that really matter. Like we still have him. I'm so grateful. Like we have our beautiful family. Our relationship is thriving.
Like legit couple
Oh,
goals. Like I look at you two and I'm just like, can I just like clone you two? Like it's literally the most magical relationship when I look at it.
oh, thanks. We're very codependent, I think.
Like, I mean, I'm here for that.
If he could be sitting here like playing with my hair while we have this conversation, or for our pajama date, we'll just like I'll just bring.
I mean, I feel like at church I sat between you two, and like you guys are both a little like stressed out. Like, where's he? Where's she? I feel like I totally messed up that dynamic that day at church.
So that's another thing we could probably explore. But oh yeah, I love him so much. And again, just kind of short, sweet to our story is back at the time we lost our house, we lost our cars. We ended up moving from here in Arizona to Houston, Texas to live in the spare bedroom of his sister's house, like our little family of 4. And that's what honestly forced us to find personal development and podcasts. Like I was just at a point, like hands in the air, Jesus take the wheel. Those seasons in your life where you like wake up and you're like, can I do this another day? Like my body physically hurts because of how worried I was for him and how we were going to just get our relationship rebuilt, and our finances and all the things. And so we came across podcasts, and I always tell people like podcasts were our first therapy and mentors before we could afford therapy and mentors. Beautiful. And so you're talking to someone like obviously I have a podcast agency now, fast forward however many years later, and I see the benefit of how it helps business owners. But my true love for it came from the understanding in my own home that a podcast can change and literally save someone's life. And so we're going to get like fun on this podcast too, but also it's just like I know what you do and how you give this information away for free to help people change their life and give them hope that they can go out and make sales. They can go out and build the life that they dream of. Like people just need that hope and they need that next step. And so it's so powerful.
But they also have to implement it.
1,000%.
Right? So you guys had these podcasts. They were your mentors. They were your therapists. They were really your lifelines. But you weren't just like taking in the information. Like you were actually doing it. Just like I say all the time, people could build a multiple 6-figure business listening to my podcast, but you can't just listen to it and walk. You got to then go home and like do the things, do the action. Yeah. So what happened? Like you guys listening to these podcasts and then you had to actually do the things, correct?
Yeah, information doesn't equal transformation.
No.
I stole that from our pastor, by the way.
Totally.
He talked about that. And I'm like,
yeah, I did a whole reel on that.
Yes, this is what I preach all the time. And this is why there's a lot of reasons. Like I can look back at that past version of me that, didn't take action for a whole year. And we're talking about the extreme. Like we were negative 700 in our bank account. For a while, I did just listen to podcasts for comfort. I would listen to it and I would, like, there's this video I love to go back and watch a few times of Jim Carrey being interviewed by Oprah. Have you ever seen that?
No, I feel like I need to see this now.
Oh, it's so good. And he talks about how before he was famous, like before he did Dumb and Dumber or whatever it was that like really like helped his career take off. He was in this like shitty beat up car and would drive through Beverly Hills and like did all the manifestation type stuff. Like he was like envisioning like I'm driving this, he'd picture the car he would be driving, the home he'd be pulling up to. He wrote himself a check for I think it was like 11 million or something.
I feel like I remember the check story.
Yeah,
I feel like I remember the check story.
So like, but the reason I'm bringing this up is the whole story. He's saying this on Oprah and he's like, no, this actually really works if you can envision something, create a plan and actually execute. Like that is the key, is execution. Yeah. Like before it's perfect, before you think you have to have it all together, before you think you're smart enough to do the next thing. That's always how it's going to be. But he talks about like, he's like, yeah, it isn't like you can just envision it or listen to the podcast and then go make a sandwich and your life is going to change. Like, and so I always joke and talk about, I do love a sandwich. I mean, you could get a lot done at a laptop, eat a sandwich in your pajamas and build an empire. Like, luckily we're in that
day and
era.
age.
Yeah. But because it's actually, honestly, most of the things that we do to be successful, they're so simple and people just don't do them. Yeah. Myself included. Yeah. Like all the time I have to catch myself and be like, most of the time my knee-jerk reaction of whatever it is I want to do in a day, do the opposite of that.
Totally.
Make me successful. Like that's literally like, I should go move my body. I don't want to.
I was
I
gonna
want to
say
be a
that.
blob.
Yeah, like I should go to the gym, or I'm just gonna watch Love Is Blind for 8 hours.
I know.
Like we know what we should do. We just don't actually do it. So I love that you're talking about the fact that you had these podcasts. You and Danny were building your life. Danny was suicidal at this point. You had $700 negative in your bank account, and now you're here. You're super successful. You have this thriving marriage. You have this thriving business. What has happened since then? Like, how did you go from there to here?
It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, we just talked about that in the last podcast.
Like, it does not happen overnight. Like the stepping stones, and I'm having to remind myself in this moment too, it could be so easy to get caught up in this negative spiral of like, I should be here by this time.
Totally.
Says fucking who?
Says
like
who?
You know, and it's going to be way more productive to just think of like, instead of focusing on that, how can I just take a second to love myself and take the next best action step that I can take? And so for me, it looked like when we were back in Texas, like for a long time, I didn't go get a job because I was so afraid. Like this was a real thing for me. And I have to like love that past version of myself that just, she was so paralyzed by fear that I was like, if I go get this stupid job at Kohl's. I ended up getting a job at Kohl's.
I mean,
was like,
I love Kohl's.
I do. I love some Kohl's, you know.
Okay, are things really on sale at Kohl's, or is it just the way they market
Well,
it?
I don't know. I was the girl stalking the
my
thing from the truck and
really?
trying to conviness people to get Kohl's bucks or whatever.
Kohl's cash, Kohl's
get
cash.
Kohl's cash and a credit card. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I have no money. You want to go buy 5 other items and you can get like $5. I don't know, whatever. But at that time, it's like, it just kind of goes back to that thing of like, whatever got you to the point that you're at, your thinking, your circle, your habits, your repetitive actions, those thought patterns, like that's going to keep you where you're at. And so I had to break, and it was hard because that first initial thing was like, it wasn't just because like I'm too good to work at Kohl's. Like I have a background in healthcare. That was my thing. Back then I was like, I'm not going to set roots here because I know it's not right. I just need to get some win under my belt. And I was so afraid even just to go get that job at Kohl's for $8 an hour because I was like, honestly, like this will make this podcast explicit. I'm like, if Danny does kill himself, if I only have so many days left with him, am I going to spend these 8 hours today
to make $64?
Yeah. And I just was looking at it, but I was asking myself the wrong questions. And once I realized and got like, and this is the thing that I work through over and over, and I'll probably work through till I'm like 120 bajillion zillion years old, is my kind of like, I was gonna say drug of choice. What's the like, self-sabotage drug of choice is victim mindset. And so it easily back then, like I had all the proof that I was like, why is this happening to me? I have no control over Danny and how he feels and how he shows up, but I was asking all the wrong questions. What can I do? And so I finally I think anger is a really great motivator.
I do too.
And I got pissed, and I just was like pissed at the situation, pissed at how I was showing up, and being like, I have 2 kids.
Anger gets you to move.
Counting on me, so I just was like, okay, it does get you to move. Like because already, like I said, I was on rock bottom. I was in this mode where like, it can't get worse than this. And if that wasn't the thing that was going to get my ass moving, I don't know what is. This is why I'm saying, I'm like, you think I'm going to wake up this morning and my default is going to want to be to go work out or go have the hard conversation. Like you have to build that muscle. And so it started with that. It was like, okay, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to be the best freaking Kohl's employee there ever was. I literally was that person that they were like, hey, you know, if you can hit this bonus of getting people to do whatever, I'm like, amazing. I already knew. I was like, guess what? You could save this much money if you go get whatever over there and come back and you get Kohl's cash. And then I got my, like, I'm the queen of creating a win-win.
For sure.
And so it started there. And then Danny left and came back here and got a job in Arizona. We were apart for 8 weeks. It's like, so maybe this is why I'm like, stay right by me.
Don't leave me ever.
Don't you dare.
Don't even go to the bathroom.
At that, and also just, you know, going through your spouse being suicidal. It's just like,
you guys have been together for a billion years too.
Like we were together. We met when I was 15 and he was 16. We worked together, so it's a fun full circle moment that we are in business together now. We worked at a catering company. that definitely was working off of child labor, which I wish I could do for my business. Maybe not, maybe not. I don't think the quality of the work that we did was that great. We were like in a catering company, like driving like these massive vans around
Yeah.
with like tons of food in the back, like setting up weddings and stuff.
Oh
It was
my
sketch,
gosh.
as
It
you
was
can
so
imagine.
sketch.
It was sketch, but we loved it. Like we worked so hard. And so yeah, anyways, just step by step. I worked at Kohl's and then we came back and then I got a job working at the hospital downtown and I just worked my ass off anywhere that I went so that I could just get wins under my belt and like make myself proud. Like
Yeah.
I needed to have that belief in myself that I could go out and do something. So I did start with something that I felt was easy. I
Yeah.
didn't go initially for, and maybe that's not great advice,
Yeah.
but for me at the time when I literally, girl, I was beat up
Yeah. You just needed some wins.
emotionally and I just needed some
Yeah.
wins. And so um built that up until I was working at a liver and kidney transplant office here in 2020 when everything was going down. And Danny had just started the business, and I was like, what I'm doing here for this office, making $18-20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, working from that $8 at Kohl's up to boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, like I'm working at a doctor's office. And I was like, if I were doing this for our business, like sky's the freaking limit.
What would that
We
be?
could do it. Yeah. And so I actually initially it was like quote Danny's business. It
Mm.
wasn't something that I took ownership for a long time. It took me a couple of years
Yeah.
to be able to like, oh no, I'm a fucking business owner.
Yeah.
And I came in and I changed the business because Danny was the one that he, you know, because of our love of podcasting, he learned the skills of how to edit and stuff just as a hobby.
Yeah.
We didn't actually intend to, like most people, we ended up being, you know, accidental entrepreneurs where
Yeah.
it was just like, you know, after a while of being back here, he was fired from his job and we're like, what could you do? Go get a quote safe job, or you could use these skills that you love and you could
Yeah.
listen to have positivity flow through your ears all day long
Mm-hmm.
as you edit.
Yeah.
And so he started it more as like kind of freelance. And when I came in, because I don't know how to edit a podcast,
Yeah.
I don't know how to run a camera, I don't know how to do any of these things. It was the perfect opportunity to awaken this leader in me that
Mm-hmm.
could hire and delegate
Yeah.
and run a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the fact that you went from working at Kohl's to this doctor's office. Danny has this like freelancing job. Do you guys edit and set up some of the biggest podcasts in the world? How does that happen? How do you get from there to here? So not only are you editing podcasts, but like the podcast that all of you guys are listening to, the biggest names out there. Like that's a fucking epic.
Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1,000% relationships. And it's really cool full circle, not just because the podcast that we work on, and it is pretty epic to be
Yeah.
behind these big names, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
And be in the rooms with them and get
be
to
in the
know
rooms
them.
with them, the guests that they have on, like that, just being around those kinds of
Yeah,
conversations.
like the power and proximity that you have is unreal.
It's a dream.
Yes.
It's a beyond what I used to even have the
Yes.
ability to dream of. And the cool thing really is a lot of those doors opened because we served people for a long
Yes.
time. So, and it came from a genuine place. I wasn't coming into a relationship being like, oh, let me do this for you so you could do this for
Yeah.
me. You know, I like, because of the belief of like specific podcasts that we work on now,
Mm-hmm.
we just approached them like, can we do some work for you for free?
Mm-hmm.
You changed our life.
Yeah.
And they literally did.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so
isn't
it's
that kind
like,
of how you got into like you did some work for like Chris, for an example?
Yeah.
Didn't you just like give some work away for free?
for like a couple of years.
Yeah. You guys
know,
like a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We showed up and we're like, hey, let's do this. Or we would, maybe charge for a one-off project
Yeah.
because that's a good mentor. That's like, make
Yeah.
sure you're trying, but like we would just show up and I will say, this is also probably bad advice for yearling sales, but like, any of the biggest shows that we've worked on, I have not pitched them.
Mm-hmm.
They've asked me, what would it look like to work with you?
Yeah.
Because we've just served.
You just served.
We just show up, serve.
And you've been in the room with other ones.
Yeah.
And they see you.
The relationships matter
Yeah.
more than, and it really does matter to work on their shows. Like I feel like I'm partnered with these people who have massive, like destined impact
Yes.
on them. Like they're meant to do big things, and they already are like world changers. And so to get to rub shoulders with those people and see myself in those people is
Yeah.
insane. Like
Yeah.
that's such a cool thing. So Yeah, it's just a lot. It's just relationships. Have
Yeah.
those relationships, and our business has grown 1,000% on referrals because yes, relationship, and then we follow through on our word.
Yeah. I talk about this a lot in Infinity and even on the podcast, like, return on investment when you join a room or join a
Yeah,
mastermind, but yours really is return on relationship. So did you first have to invest in some of these rooms to get to know these people, to serve them? Like, let's talk about that because a lot of people listening to this podcast right now that aren't even making the first dollar to get into the room to get to know the people. So what's the first step you got to take?
yeah. I For us, we traded our way into the first rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looking back, I don't really love doing a trade. I love to pay my friends and I love for my friends to pay me.
Me
And I
too.
love, you know what I mean? I think that's so powerful. And it also, you know, it's just you get to set clear expectations and
It's
there's
a different
clear
energy.
lines. It's a
Yeah.
different energy. It feels really good. But for us, like, I guess I'm the queen of doing everything in baby steps. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like we started in those first couple of rooms. We were like, hey, because we're in, we do video. We're
Yeah.
like, hey, can I
Have fun.
come film and create content for this event? And we can come sit
Mm-hmm.
in the room. And sometimes it's even has been like, let me just even offer this service for free and not even be an attendee. I'll
Yeah.
just sit in the back of the room
I want
and
to take a
then,
seat.
yeah, yeah. And I'll just literally learn that way.
Mm-hmm.
And by default, the person at the front of the room, because I've been really respectful of their relationships in that room, they will introduce me to people.
Yes.
And so that's how it's happened for us. But then 1,000% invest and get into rooms because
Yeah.
you show up differently.
Yeah.
Like you really, when you have dollars on the line and you're like, okay, I have to show up a different way in this room
Mm-hmm.
and get into one that's like, let it be something that stretches you.
Yeah.
Makes you pee a little when you walk in the
Yeah.
room and you're like, oh, like everyone in here has like way bigger businesses than me. But
Yeah.
like, and then walk in with that same attitude of how can I serve? How can I serve? How can I
Yeah.
serve?
I mean, that's how I feel every year when I walk into Chris's room. I'm just like, I want to like throw up. Like, we just had our call last week for the new round, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is like definitely a throw up room for sure. In a good way, but
In a
like,
good, oh yeah.
but it's like, this is definitely
A
like
little,
this
yeah.
is a level up for sure. The
Yeah.
other thing I love so much about you and Danny is obviously I've seen you in a lot of these rooms, in the back of the room filming. Your kiddos are always with you guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Even on our friend dates, your daughter
Oh
comes,
yeah.
which I love. Like, let's talk about the beauty of bringing your kids into the business and what that looks like.
We involve them in any way that we can. And we're just so like, why would I even had the thought, I'm like, do I bring the kids with me here? Because conversations
Mm-hmm.
like this are changing my life. If I would have had the opportunity to be around that when I was 12, 13, 14,
Mm.
15, like how different
Yeah.
would things be? I think a big reason why I'm an entrepreneur is because like I meant to bring the kids into these rooms.
Yeah.
Like that whatever they're destined to do, you can just I know every mom feels like this, but I can just see how powerful. Like actually my son Daxton reminds me a lot of Chris Harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so like he's very money motivated and like
Yeah.
yeah, and in the best way and to be someone who understands like, ooh, I have a great model of someone that you can learn from who's kind of like also even battled with like here's the good sides of that, the bad
Yeah.
sides of that. Let me show you
Yeah.
about business in a way that like I can't mentor them. I
Yeah.
just want my kids to have as many positive role models in their life that they can look to so that whatever it is that they decide to do in their life,
Yeah.
like if they end up reaching out to Aunt Jillian, freaking cool.
Hell
Like
yeah.
hell yeah. I would love for you to be the person
Yeah.
that are my kids reach out to about relationship advice or
Oh, please
business
don't. Not for
advice
relationship
or
advice.
listen, but
Anything except relationship was
but
Nevaeh.
I'm saying
No
I could
relationship advice, Nevaeh.
listen. I could feed some into your ear, and then you get to tell them, but it's not mom telling them.
Perfect,
No.
perfect, perfect. Okay, now Nevaeh, now you can
Okay,
tell me.
but here's the thing though, like even just to touch on that, like you're totally joking, but like we're all gonna learn from each other's
Yeah,
mistakes, or like is it ever really even a mistake? Like it's all
it
lessons,
is.
And
Yeah,
so it's like way better you and I
yeah.
than freaking I
Someone
don't
at their
know.
school
Yeah, like
yeah,
I'm like it's
or
just
someone on
wild.
TikTok or
Oh
something, right?
God, yeah.
Yeah. So I know how old your kiddos are, but tell the audience how old your kiddos are.
Yeah, so Nevaeh, my daughter's 15,
Hmm.
and Jackson is 13.
Okay, so guys, I want you to like visualize this. So those ages, we were just in a mastermind last year, Chris Harder's mastermind, and they were like in the room. They were like standing in the back. They were like taking some photos. And imagine for 5 days, 4.5 days, being able to be poured into, not only from like what we were asking, but like what the guests were asking and the speakers were asking. Like at that age to learn, like that is priceless. Like that
Yeah.
is absolutely incredible. And then I get to see them every Sunday at church and see like
Yeah.
what they're doing there. Like it's absolutely beautiful what you guys are doing with those kids.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It all revolves around our family. Like maybe it's codependent all the way around,
I
but
mean, I love it.
we homeschool, so and I would never do this when they were younger just because it would be so hard for me and it wasn't the season for it, but I mean, their homeschool is learning life skills. They also do like actual curriculum and stuff like that, and then if we can involve them in business trips and stuff like that where they get to like if that's your schooling for the day,
Yeah.
learning, I mean, and they're learning on everything from relationships to
Finance.
finances to all kinds of
Yeah.
topics that
Sex from
I,
Vanessa.
I was literally
Yeah.
thinking about that. I'm like, hey,
Sex
bring
from Vanessa. Yeah.
bring out the banana. Oh my gosh, they're so freaking funny. But for reals though, getting to learn from
Yeah.
experts in their field
Yeah.
who have created like like real success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the top one. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a statistician,
Right.
whatever. But
Yeah.
like we're talking top 1%
Hmm.
people in the world that
Yeah.
have gone out and created success in these areas.
Yeah. And they're seeing it in real time.
Yeah.
It's not like they're following someone on TikTok or YouTube that's like, oh, that's really far away. It's like they're in the room with these people. They're
Mm-hmm.
sitting, knee to knee with them at church. Like
Yep.
that's like really the beauty of it. So I actually really love that. So I actually want to flip this conversation a little bit to like adult conversations
Yeah.
because before we actually turned the mic on, we were like talking about this. So you guys, I literally went up to her at this event and I was like, can we be besties? And she was like, yes. But I think there's something to be said about like adult friendships. And one, I think it's very hard to find them. Number two, I think you got to find someone that's your vibe. But we actually joke about this too. Like, we're both not needy friends, and this is why it works. Like, I might text you, and like 4 days later, you respond. But like, that's why it works. So, talk about like finding adult friendships at this age and like what works for you.
I think it just, for me at least, it's good to know what your needs are and the
Yeah.
needs of your friend.
Yeah.
It's a relationship just like
Totally.
any relationship.
Yeah.
And if you have unmet expectations or needs, like I just would rather be like super upfront
Yeah.
and be like, hey, just so you know, this is what you're in for,
Yes.
is I'm not going to be able to answer right away.
Yeah.
It just isn't the season. Like that would actually make me stressed out.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be me genuinely showing up in the relationship in a way that felt good for me long
Yeah.
term. Like, does this feel good for you?
Yeah.
And yeah, everything's communication.
Yeah. And I also think you have different friends like for different things. Like,
Yeah.
I recently went through a terrible 18-month like breakup every other day, toxic, like the worst relationship of my fucking life.
Hmm.
And I know that Bree, as much as I love her and as much as she loves me, she's not the friend that I go to every 26 minutes to like blow up her phone and be like on the phone with me all day long. Like you have different friends, like I think for
Yeah.
different things and different expectations of that, right? And I think that's also something like as you're finding adult friendships, you kind of navigate who's the friend for what. And one of my favorite stories about you, I'm actually going to share this on the podcast. One of my absolute favorite stories about you was 2 Wednesdays ago when I was struggling about Bible study. And I signed up for this Bible study, you guys, and I was so tired on a Wednesday. And Bree was gonna go with me, and I messaged her and I was like, okay, I don't know if I should go to Bible study. I feel bad. Is Jesus still gonna love me? Am I gonna go to hell? I'm tired, all the things. And her message back was, what do you need me to say right now? Because if you need me to say you should go, I'm gonna give you that message. If you need me to say, let's pray on the phone right now, I'm gonna give you that message. And if you need me to say, Jesus is still gonna love you and it's okay if you don't go, I'm gonna give you that message. So you let me know what you need and I'm gonna pour into you that way. And it was such a beautiful response from you.
Oh,
It,
I'm
it
so
was
glad.
such a beautiful response from you.
Well, it is going to be different for different seasons.
Yeah.
We guilt ourselves so much for not being able to do it all.
Yeah.
So obviously my answer no matter what is like, yes, Jesus is going to love you whether or not you go.
And I still went, you guys. I've gone.
And you
I've
still
gone the last 4 weeks.
and you still went and you still showed up, but yeah, we just need to support each other. And kind of the other point you're making too is like, don't try and make one person your everything.
Yes.
Like, as much as I joke about like my relationship with Danny, probably the biggest mistake that I could make in that relationship is try to make him everything for me and fill every need.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the needs, to be honest, I should be filling myself and my friends and my husband and my kids. Like they all get to be bonus.
Yeah.
So if I'm coming into any relationship thinking I'm like, I need you to fill this for me,
Mm-hmm.
Like if I did show up and I was like, I need you, Jillian needs to validate me. You're my validation friend. You always have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just an energy suck.
Yeah.
Nobody wants an energy suck
Wants
friend.
energy
You don't
suck.
even want to be an energy suck because then you're again, that's victim mode in a
Totally.
whole different way. You're at the mercy of how other people show up for you and whether or not you feel supported or fulfilled or
Yeah.
happy.
It's so true. Speaking of podcasting, you just launched your podcast.
I did.
Let's talk about that. I love the
Yeah.
name of it, Bay, but tell
Mhm.
us what that is.
Yeah, so BAE stands for Becoming an Entrepreneur.
Such a
And
great name.
oh, I mean, well, for my marketing brain and even just understanding like Apple Podcast charts, having entrepreneur in the name of your podcast is
Yeah.
a good idea. But so that's
I might need
definitely
to rename mine, by the way.
that's at play. But really it's just my journey of becoming a better entrepreneur. I think that at least my mindset around it is like I call myself an entrepreneur, but I'm kind of like kind of not fully one. Like I'm kind of a little bit of a poser. Now I've created success in my business, but
Yeah.
for real though, like
Because you're,
technically an entrepreneur is like you own a machine
yeah.
that could work without you.
Yeah.
And I don't
Mhm.
yet. I haven't built something that really fully could run without me.
Mhm.
And
Do you want one like that runs without you, or do you want to keep doing it?
I'll still keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it's not one of those things that like when all of a sudden you like I don't know what do you do first fill out you get your tax ID EIN
Yeah.
number or whatever it's called and you're like I have a business
Yeah.
like um that's not how it works like you're a work in progress and the entrepreneur that you are right now is going to be different than
Mhm.
hopefully the one that you are next year and the year after that because you're continuing to grow and learn and so I definitely want to build a business in a way that gives me more freedom.
Mhm.
That's what most of us get into this for is be able to we're the stubborn people that want to do it our way
Mhm.
and are willing to work harder to make that happen. And so yeah, it's just my journey of learning to be a better leader, a better entrepreneur, work on my skills
Mhm.
because it isn't a wow, I've arrived, I've done it. And it's like working out, it's like anything. It's
Yeah.
like a relationship. You can be like, wow, we got to this great point.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like phone it home from
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So as like you're becoming an entrepreneur, what are some of like the biggest lessons that you would tell someone who's like on their way to like their first six figures, let's say?
Move.
Yeah. Like
Just
fucking go.
do something.
Yeah.
And I think we spend a lot of time, and I'm so glad, like, I hope whoever's listening to this, you even friggin' pause it. I don't care if you listen, just kidding. Listen to
Yeah.
it, listen to the rest for Jillian's sake. But
And leave a review, please.
and leave a review and yeah, you know what I
And
mean?
share it with your friends.
And share it with your friends and all the things. But like go do something.
Yeah.
Because even if it's the quote wrong thing, you're gonna learn from it.
Yes.
People think they're gonna learn from analyzing and listening. And there's for sure a place for strategy. I'm not saying like try something different every day and change up your strategy because something didn't work for 24 hours. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that. I'm just saying do something. And I think a lot of us know the next action step that we need to take, but we're afraid and we think that more information is going to make us braver. And
Mhm.
honestly, more information usually makes it harder
Mhm.
because then there's more noise. There's more, wait, should I do this thing? And
Yeah.
I think like if we can get a little like it's a mix of woo and God, and I believe it's all the same.
Yeah.
But if God put it on your heart to build this
Yeah.
business, which I think all of us are very tied to our
Yeah.
businesses, like we create the thing that we need,
Mhm.
like I desperately needed
Podcasting.
podcasts. Yeah. And so like, and also even if I go a level deeper as a woman, as a human, as like the little girl inside of me that really wants to be seen and heard,
Mm.
I have a business that makes people feel seen and
Yeah.
heard. So this is my mission
Yeah.
is to figure out how can I get in front of the microphone and the camera myself and share my story because I tell people all day that their story matters and it's impactful. Do that thing.
Yeah.
Take the action.
Mhm. And I think it's so true. And I think exactly what you said, like, you don't need more information. You don't need to learn more. It's funny. I recently had someone come into the Infinity program and like I do these things called conversion events every month where you can just like come in and like sit in and like see if you like it. And like 99% of the time people buy. And I had this girl that came in last month and she was like, I'm not going to join. It just feels a little basic. Like I feel like I didn't learn a lot. And I was like, that's the problem. Is you're looking for things that are really shiny. You're
Mm-hmm.
looking for all of this like pizzazz. And the reason why people are so successful in Infinity is because I created something so different
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not actually teaching something every week. There's not 87 modules. I'm not giving you a guest speaker every month. What I'm doing is I'm teaching you a couple skills, and then you're implementing it, and you're doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until you get really good at it. And it's like most people aren't willing to do that.
Do simple
things over and over
professionally, like the best you could possibly do them. A simple business, show me that, they're going to be successful.
My business is so boring, and people like are like blown away by it. I'm like, you guys, I talk about one thing every single day.
It's clear.
It's so clear. It's so boring.
You get to master that sale, that conversion, because you're focusing on one thing.
Yeah. And it's like, I wish people just really understood. It's like the more boring and the more simple, the more successful you're actually going to be. It's like, that's really all it.
The more components you put in there, most of them, a lot of stuff in business is busy work. Like as someone who has a team, my whole thing is I'm coming in and like, how can we simplify?
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you should be focusing on and doing it incredibly well that's actually going to move the needle forward?
Yeah. I just want to talk about this really quick. So you have a team. Did you hire a team when you were ready, or did you hire a team before you were ready based on where you were going?
Oh gosh, team is such a messy thing.
It's such a messy thing.
Such a messy thing. I think because we have several different seats, like definitely hired people that I knew were going to be able to fulfill, so that I know I could just unleash and sell.
Yeah.
So I it's kind of a bit of both. Like it's hard because it's like I'm not going to wait to sell something if I know someone's like they're ready, and then I can go find the person. But definitely for something that's so heavy fulfillment, like podcast production. So my editors, people that are creating designs in Canva, doing show notes and stuff like that, like getting them on and trained so that then I can go sell and hand work to them has been less stressful. But it's messy though. Like I'm definitely not the person that's like, I have the perfect business. This is why I have my podcast is becoming an entrepreneur. Okay. Like
you're like, I haven't arrived yet.
I haven't arrived, but yeah, it's a mix of both. And I think like I definitely, I stunt the growth in the areas where I am trying to do shit I should not be doing in my business and not delegating.
Who does the selling in the business?
Me.
You do? Yeah. Why do you do it and not Danny?
Oh, that's a good question. Because his background's sales, but
that's why I asked. Because his background is sales.
Yeah. If I'm going to be like totally honest, I feel like when I came into the business and saw how he was doing things, I think I just leaned on my intuition more of how we could run it like a business instead of him doing it as a freelancer. And I'll like in the beginning, I was the person that, and I'm sure people do this in their relationships at home, you do it with your business partner, whatever. But I definitely in the beginning was guilty of being like, okay, well, I'm going to take this all on my plate so that I can control it and decide how it's done. And then I would get like burnt out because I was doing all the things. I'm like, look at this list.
Yeah.
See all these things that Brianne's name is next to, and then yours isn't. And so, but it worked really well to delegate the other things that I couldn't do to other people that weren't Danny. It's so great for our marriage too.
Yeah.
For us not to have overlap, and for me not to be managing him and him not be managing me.
Yeah.
And us be like real equal partners in that and have different divisions of things that we focus on. But I don't know. I think it just kind of organically happened because I really love that part of it.
Yeah.
I love, like, I'm not the Alex Hormozy that's like, this is my 4-step framework process or whatever. You know what I mean? Like my sales process is different. Because I get to come into a conversation and be like, hey, what do you give a shit about? We'll talk about KPIs and all that kind of stuff too. But like, is this something that I feel like I could get behind their mission, their message, and be super passionate about? And then I know my team will fulfill. They'll do a great job on the content and on the back end. So I believe in my product. Yeah. But it's like, do I want to partner with this person in building their brand?
Yeah. The last question I want to ask you, I think it's a great way to wrap it up, is you and Danny have been together for almost 20 years, right? You're codependent on each other. We've already talked about that. You're great parents. You go to church together. You run a business together. How do you keep it all together without killing each other?
Oh, that's a good question.
Especially running a business together.
The business is really hard.
Yeah.
Because in any relationship, business included, like you're going to disappoint each other. So we've opened another door in an area, right? So we have our relationship that is very separate from a relationship with our kids. So there's Danny and I. The kids are going to grow up and move away one day, and it's just going to be me and him. So we have that one relationship where we have different areas in that relationship we could disappoint each other. then we have our parenting relationship, and then we have the business and all those things. And it definitely like, it opens the door for it to be like, oh, I dropped the ball in this area, or I fucked this up.
Yep.
And you have to own it. And it just kind of comes back to like, how quickly can we forgive each other and try and make sure that we're like, what's best for the business?
Yeah.
What's best for the business is, and you move forward.
Yeah.
Just the same as what's best for our parenting relationship.
And leave the egos at the door.
Oh, it's freaking hard.
I bet. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah. So where can people find you? And are you taking clients right now?
We are. Yeah, we have a couple spots coming up. I mean, we're always open to new people that they're those hell yes that I'm like, I can see us linking arms and really growing it together.
What makes it a hell yes client for you guys? Because I know you work with some huge names. Do they have to be a huge name?
No.
And like, what makes it a hell yes client?
Show me your vision of what you're passionate about building and how you want to serve. Like, I hope that has come across in how I do business, is like, I just want to focus on serving well.
Yeah.
So if there's someone else that wants to really serve and put their information out there, like, we really work with people who use their zone of genius and they give it away for free on a podcast to be able to help people. And then on the business end, we turn that into top of funnel. But if you're someone who you're like, I really, really care about this, helping this person in this way, and maybe you need some more clarity around that. Yeah. Let's talk. But someone that wants to serve, and then we can link arms and freaking change the world.
Yeah. Bree, I love you. I'm literally so excited that you were here. This was such a great conversation. I can't wait to put our pajamas on and do
I'm so excited.
Your podcast. Get out of these boots and put something comfy on. Thank you so much for being here. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into the Scale Your Sales podcast. If today's episode has you fired up, would you do me a huge favor and leave a review over on Apple or Spotify podcast? Or, of course, you can always take a screenshot and share it on your social media. That is the way we grow this show, and so that other people can absolutely learn how to grow their sales as well. I am on a mission to change the mindset of sales. I want people to freaking love sales, because the reality is sales is the foundation of everything you do. It's how your business generates revenue consistently. So remember, keep showing up and being unapologetic about selling, because once you fall in love with selling, the sky is absolutely the limit. Until next time, happy selling, and my DMs are always open. I can't wait to get to know you better.